Hey guys, welcome back to some more F1 2018 and part 10 of our Mercedes career mode, and in today's episode we go home. We are racing in the British Grand Prix, our home race, Lewis's home race, and most of the Mercedes guys work in Great Britain. So it's going to be a fantastic race and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And yeah, I mean, the championship so far is going really well. If we just have a little look at this screen here, you can see how it's ebbed and flowed, and you can sort of see the upward trajectory of Mercedes. The last 5 races or so, we have been in really good shape. Monaco, you know, Lewis retired, we had reliability problems, and we were lucky to get 4 points out of that race, but we had the pace. We were 1-2 on the grid, remember. So we're going into a phase of the season where we're getting better and better with the car. We're pushing each other to new limits. Kimi Räikkönen and Vettel have dropped off a little bit, and now is the time for me and Lewis to dance off into the sunset, and hopefully we can overcome him in the next few races. We really need to. He's on a streak of winning 3 Grand Prix in a row, so we need to end that here today at Silverstone. So I'm now going to hand over to Future Joe, who is in Q3 hopefully, and looking to get another pole position. So here we are in Q3 for the British Grand Prix then, and to be honest, our pace has not been good. Lewis Hamilton topped the middle session on medium tyres. We were on soft tyres and still 3 or 4 tenths behind him. It's always been a circuit that I've struggled on, Silverstone, so it'll be interesting to see what we can do, but hopefully we can lock out the front row at least.
Engine fired.
Well, here we go guys, through the final couple of corners. We're just ahead of Lewis on track. I think we might be quicker than him, but are we going to be quicker than Kimi Räikkönen? We come up to the line and we are 1:28 flat, by far our best lap of the weekend, but you feel like Lewis has probably got a little bit more. We were holding him up a little bit, but for now we're on pole position for our home Grand Prix. So through the first 2 sectors we have gone 6 tenths quicker. Vettel has currently gone on pole. I don't know what Lewis Hamilton is going to do, but we know that we're half a second up on our lap. Hamilton has gone ahead of us, but not ahead of Vettel. I don't know what Vettel's time was. We come round the final turn. What's it going to be? It's pole position! Yes! We've got pole position for the British Grand Prix. The first and second sector were incredible on that lap. We lost a bit of time in the final sector, but look at that.
Who are the captain, Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So we get our first pole position since Monaco in this Grand Prix. Oh, we needed that. We very much needed that. Was 3.5 tenths quicker than Vettel, 4 tenths quicker than Hamilton in the end, who must have not been able to get a clean lap together in Q3. I feel like he's got really good pace for tomorrow's race, and it's going to be an interesting one to see who comes out on top.
The pain of parting is nothing to the joy of meeting again. And how joyous indeed it is to be back at Silverstone once more for the British Grand Prix. The queues to get in this morning extended miles back down the A43, such as the enthusiasm for Formula One in this country. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of the Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, along with 2 DRS zones on the Wellington and Hangar Straights respectively. But the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now I want to ask you about Daniel Ricciardo. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. The captain lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, and Vettel. They've taken a grid penalty. Hülkenberg, Alonso, Magnussen, and Sergio Perez. Ricciardo, Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, and Van Dorn. Grosjean, Sirotkin, Lance Stroll and Marcus Ericsson. Hartley and Esteban Ocon rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
So here we are, down on the track then. Lewis Hamilton promoted to second position after a penalty for Sebastian Vettel. Let's just have a look at when we need to come in. Lap 4. So that is going to be interesting, but starting 1 and 2 at our home Grand Prix is very, very good indeed. Really looking forward to this.
Gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cooler, so don't go too high with the revs.
So we need to get the tyre temperatures up, and hopefully, you know, this will be revenge for Monaco, you know, where we got pole position but didn't really feature in the race win because of reliability problems. Spain, I think we got pole position as well, but got off to a bad start. Ended up finishing second, even though we took the lead on the last lap of the race. So, you know, a lot has happened this season, and it would be great if we could somehow win our great home Grand Prix, stop Lewis Hamilton's streak. He's won the last 3 Grand Prix, and it would really get us back into the title fight going into Germany and Hungary, where I feel like I could have a little bit of an advantage over Lewis. I feel like here we've got lucky with pole position, and now we need to sort of take advantage of that fact. But thank you for all the support on the series so far. The likes on episode 1 has gone over 100 now at the time of recording. It might have even gone higher than that now, but thank you for all of the great support. The comments are wonderful. Likes and views have been better than I could have ever hoped for on this series, and we're about halfway through this first season. Really enjoying it, and glad that you guys are too. But here we are, lining up for the British Grand Prix. It's going to be a good one. A little burnout in there before the end. Lining up on pole position, stopping right at that yellow line.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
Just hoping for a good start. Here we go. 5 red lights. Lights out, away we go here at Great Britain. It's a good start off the line, but wheel spin in the second phase of the start meant that Lewis Hamilton jumped us, but we have got a little run on him down into turn 3, where Lewis got booted in real life, and we have made contact but managed to keep it round, thankfully. But Lewis Hamilton does lead out of the first sector. We're in second with Verstappen jumping Raikkonen into third. I assume Raikkonen is in fourth with Sebastian Vettel in 5th. Can we keep up with Lewis Hamilton in this early phase of the Grand Prix? It would be annoying if he ran off into the distance like he did in France, but at least we are sort of in his range this time. It was a decent start, but Lewis Hamilton absolutely blitzed it off the line, and yeah, it was absolutely flat out through that corner, Copse corner, and into Maggots and Beckett's. We were imperious through this section yesterday. We go slightly wide onto the grass. It doesn't really matter. Hasn't affected our run too badly. and you can see that this is going to be where our chances are. But at least we've stuck with Lewis Hamilton this time. Another poorish start after a great start in France. We haven't really managed to replicate that, but Lewis Hamilton leading and we're in second for now.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums. Box now, please. Box this lap.
Okay, so we're coming into the pits at the end of this lap. Lewis Hamilton is on the mediums. I didn't realise that, so it is quite worrying how he's so much quicker than us. But we're in. That was a good pit entry. It's a long pit lane, this one. So hoping to get the undercut, but yeah, it might be another case of Lewis running away with this one. He's just got so much pace. Oh, come on. Held up. Annoying, that. Very, very annoying indeed. And that couple of seconds that we were held is going to be crucial. You know, we've just got to hope that Lewis faces the same when him and Seb come in. But
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
very annoying.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer.
Okay, so Lewis Hamilton is in the pits. So this is the time that we need to absolutely push and get everything out of the car that we can. We've been putting in fastest lap after fastest lap. We've surely made up some really good time.
There's 5 laps of fuel
But
remaining.
it's all going to be about how he's been doing while we've been on this little run of laps.
It is 13.1
And he's
seconds.
already out. So guys, we're coming on to the final lap. We've backed off until this last lap really, trying to save the car, but we have got a bit of charge and we've got a bit of fuel, so let's try and somehow get the fastest lap on worn medium tyres when Lewis Hamilton has been on fresh soft tyres. You know, of course we're going to get fastest lap, but Lewis Hamilton has pulled away a little bit. You know, obviously the fresh tyres and softer tyres has helped him do that. I thought that might have been Lewis there with the yellow flag, because it was just ahead, but it's a yellow flag here, and it's Stoffel Van Dorn. He's out of the race. He's having a woeful season so far, but Lewis Hamilton is going to win 4 Grand Prix in a row, and this is really, really putting our backs up against the wall in terms of the title fight. But you know, we're only at the halfway stage. The form's got to change at some point. Will it be next weekend in Germany? Who knows? But Lewis Hamilton is going to come round and win the British Grand Prix with the fastest lap of the race. Goodness me, shave 4/10 off the fastest lap there. There's no way we're going to be able to compete with that. We come through in second with a 30.5.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
A great win then for the Mercedes team today. Tell me, what was the key to this success?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Here come our winning drivers then, out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling Grand Prix. The drama and excitement are over, and it's time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top 3 today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I think I'm going to give it to Daniel Ricciardo. He's come through the field so well today, you know. Well deserved.
And now let's take a look at the Constructors' standings. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.
So there we have it then. Lewis Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix. We finish in second, 10 seconds behind him in the end there. Max Verstappen finishes third, another podium for the Dutchman, and he really has had a consistent season. I don't think he's won a Grand Prix yet, but certainly consistent. Daniel Ricciardo a brilliant fourth, considering he started 11th, and the Ferraris disappointingly in 5th and 6th. Hulkenberg 7th, Magnussen 8th, Alonso 9th, and Grosjean in 10th. Looking at the championship, we're 25 points behind Hamilton now. It's starting to look like a two-horse race. The Ferraris have really dropped off, it has to be said, in recent weeks, and the Red Bulls also quite far behind. And we're stealing a march in the Constructors with a second consecutive 1-2 finish. If you have enjoyed this episode, then make sure you do leave a like down below. It really does help me out. It means a lot to me as well. Subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.